What's up, Sammy? Child, I'm watching these folks cook with CBD and they showing out. Hey, Lynn, boo, how you doing? Honey, I just got through frying me some fish, honey. I wish I had me some damn CBD grease, bitch. A meal or something. Baby, they cooking their asses out. But I just fried me some fish and ate me a good old big salad, honey. So I have done what I'm gonna do. Okay. What's up, y'all? Let me speak to y'all. Sammy, hey Lynn. What's up, Lorraine? Grady baby. Lynn, how you doing? Y'all, y'all already know where we at, right? Y'all know we on chapter six. Chapter 6, child. I hope y'all ready. Yes, Lynn, you hear me still smacking, girl. Honey, I'm still smacking off of that damn meal. I got off work at 6:30, child. Cooked that meal right quick. And I said 8. And I said, let me get online. That's why I couldn't go live on the first page to tell y'all we was coming over here. Honey, I was trying to eat, child. You know how greedy bitches carry on. Ja! You bring it here. But y'all, I'm talking about my drink, honey. So we finna get right on into it, y'all. Please like this video as y'all come in. We appreciate you. Hey, Crafts Boo, how you doing? Here you go. Thank you, baby. What you say? I like a nice fish sandwich with some mayo, onion, and pickles. Honey, that's if I'm in the store. But you know what? I ain't never really made no fish sandwich. Mm-mm. I'm not a mayo girl. I fuck with the tartar sauce before I fuck with the mayonnaise. I'm just not a mayo girl, honey. But on some things I will eat it. What's up, Ned Boo? All right, y'all. Like this video as y'all come in. We are about to start chapter 6 of the Untold Secret by Douglas E. Hobson, honey. My favorite type of fish is white, and me too. It's the easiest to cook for me, honey. A little saying, man, I gotta worry about no damn bones and all that extra shit, child. So, chapter 6 is titled, Let the Truth Be Told. Here we go. Okay. Now, remember, they was in court when we left off in chapter 5, the end of chapter 5. They went to court. His mom was in court or whatever. So, the detective took the witness stand and began to testify of the incidents that had taken place since I was 6. He told of how my mother and uncle had molested, beaten, and neglected me, how this had been an effect of my behavior in school, and why they thought it wasn't safe for my mother to have custody of me anymore. Then my social worker stood up and testified. She had a strong presence about her. She spoke boldly and stared at my mother in the face the whole time while on the witness stand. I remember her final words. No child should suffer the way he suffered. She walked off the stand, and then my doctor testified. He was so sharp with his words. He explained how the abuse could have long-lasting effect on my life, and how when he took my case, he had never seen anything like it before. He told her what I had suffered from in my childhood, and he spoke of short-term realities of emotional problems such as anger, hostility, fear, anxiety, humiliation, lowered self esteem, and the inability to express feelings. He spoke about behavioral problems, such as aggression by the child towards others or self destructive behavior, the inability to form relationships with peers, and poor social skills. He also explained the long term possible effects, such as interpersonal relationships, for example, the difficulty of trusting others within adult relationships or violent relationships, to emotional disturbance, feelings of low self esteem, depression, and increased potential for the child abuse as a parent. So they saying that he might child abuse somebody when he get old. Lord, I hadn't realized that my trauma could take effect. It could affect me as a parent. I would never want any child to suffer the. Excuse me. Oh, I got a burn. Okay. I would never want any child to suffer what I had suffered throughout those long 11 years. Then the lady from DSS testified. She played the video recording of our interview where I had to use the dolls to explain the position and what they did. It made me cry because I felt all the pain that I had faced in those times. But I was finally free of abuse. Next, Michael got on the witness stand and he explained how he was when wait. He explained how when he first met me, I was a total wreck, how my emotional state was disturbed and my anger was getting ready to destroy my life. He also expressed how he wanted to help me become who I was born to be, a leader. He expressed how he could see the hurt, the pain, and the agony in my eyes. He finished by saying this: I had a son who died at the age of 6, the same age Douglas was when I met him. He reminded me so much of my son that I instantly took a liking to him. I prayed every day that the Lord would give me another son, and then he did. He's sitting there in a black suit. I began to cry. A complete stranger had more love for me than my own mother. How could that be possible? The hardest part of this whole day was when I had to get on the witness stand. I was nervous, but Michael told me the previous day to write out my feelings. I took out what I had written. I took out what I had written and read it on the witness stand. You always you always told that it was never okay to make a mistake and it was not okay to show my feelings. I was told the way I felt was not true. You have nothing to cry about, and if you don't stop crying, I will really give you something to cry about. That really didn't hurt. You have nothing but you have nothing to be angry about. When I look back at how I really felt, I can see your intentions. All the time I thought you were my mother, protector, a friend, but it turns out that you were my closest enemy. You gained access because I was uneducated about sexual abuse, shy, insecure, and I was considered trouble. You wanted access, my trust, and the ability to control me. My uncle gained my trust. You allowed him to work and build a relationship with me by showing me attention, affection, and giving me gifts or special favors, treatment to make me feel comfortable and invested in the relationship. You and my uncle broke my boundaries by making it easier for him to portray that sexual interaction was normal from a learning experience. You used to tell me, if someone hurts you, tell me. It confused me because I never found sexual abuse painful but pleasurable. It made my feelings of embarrassment and disconnection toward you stronger because you were supposed to protect me. You made me believe that you were the only one who cared about me, so I feared losing our relationship. You threatened to harm me. You told me it was my fault and that everyone would be ashamed of me. I was afraid of not being believed or of creating a problem, which is why I stayed silent for so long. Through my torn and broken feelings, I don't know what to do physically, emotionally, and mentally. I'm lost. You acted like you cared, and you blamed me for your mistakes. You came to me and told me you did it out of anger, and you told me you loved me over and over again. All I can think about is how to cut you out of my life. But there is a small piece in my heart that won't let me because you are my mother, the one who gave me life, but at the same time you took life away from me. You took my innocence from me. You took my independence away. I became dependent on you in so many ways. You took my ability to make decisions away. Now I struggle. Now I struggle to know if I'm a boy or a girl. It's beating it's beating people the way you show them you love them. I still feel pain when I have to use the bathroom. When I wipe myself, there is blood on the tissue. I still feel agony when I hear keys jingling at the front door. The words you used to say, you know I love you, right? Still throw my heart into a frenzy. I have never been able to trust anyone because of the hell and torture you put me through. I can't stand to look at you. It makes me cringe. But I still ask myself, why do you still love her? Why do you still care? Why does it hurt to see her in those handcuffs? I hope you feel the way I did when you handcuffed me to the railing and beat me for hours because you couldn't get your fix. I hope you feel pain when you go to the bathroom. I pray your feelings begin to race as your heart as you hear the guards come to your cell and you hear the keys jiggling. I hope someone rapes you and repeatedly like you did me. You destroyed the little boy inside me. I hate being me. I hate looking at myself in the mirror. I cut myself to feel pain because I'm numb inside. I don't know how to be loved because you took all this away from me. I pray that you find it in your heart to ask God to forgive you. You asking God to forgive her, but you telling her you hope she get raped. I don't know now. And with this letter, you ain't even need no damn judge, no lawyers and shit. You could have had your own case. I will go on. Go ahead and like the video as y'all come in. I walked off the witness stand crying, and Michael gave me a hug and told me, well done. I felt so light after being able to finally express my feelings without being in fear of being beaten or molested. I had a sense of freedom and a sense of independence, which are things I never felt before, and I had something I had been craving for such a long time, a father figure who cared about me. After all the testimonies, the judge called for a lunch break, and of course I wanted McDonald's. There happened to be one right across the street. All my family came to McDonald's to eat with us. The excitement I felt in my heart was irredesirable. Oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. I'm burping my ass off, y'all, trying to drink and read. I was happy, excited, nervous, overwhelmed, scared, and I almost felt guilty. The guilty feeling was because I felt I was putting a wedge between my family and Michael. He was a man who said I was his son, and he came out of nowhere. My family was there, and Michael was there, and I felt like the monkey in the middle. But one thing was for sure, they all loved me, and they cared about me. And that was a feeling I had never felt before, and for that I was truly grateful. I sat with Big Mama at the restaurant, and she hugged me and began to cry. I said, Big Mama, why you crying? She said, I never knew what was going on, and I wasn't there to protect you. That meant more to me than anything in this world, to know that there was someone willing to protect me from my mother and uncle, from what my mother and uncle were doing to me, and that she cared. Everyone was full, and we had some laughs. But then we had to go back to the tense place. but put smiles and laughs on hold until afterwards. I was nervous about going back to the courtroom because I was afraid of the outcome, and I was afraid that the judge wouldn't believe any of the testimonies. So when we all sat down, something happened that no one saw coming. Something happened that blew my mind. Michael's mind, and I believe the judge's mind. Big Mama stood up in court and said, "I want to testify." The whole courtroom went silent. You could have heard a rat pee on the cotton. There was a bit of commotion as the judge said, "Order in the courtroom." He said to Big Mama, he told Big Mama she had 3 minutes to speak her piece. She said, "I never knew what my daughter and son were doing to doing this to my grandchild. I wasn't there to protect him, and I'm so sorry. I can't imagine what you felt, but I encourage you, Beth, to get your life right with the Lord, because what you did is something no mother should ever do to their child unless you are retarded or just sick. My God, have mercy on your soul." It was like Big Mama was the judge, jury, and the executor. You could hear the hurt in her voice as it trembled. People in the courtroom started sobbing and sniffling as she shared how she felt. Finally, the judge was ready to give his decision, and we were all nervous. The judge granted temporary custody to Michael until my birthday, which was 3 months away. After that, we would have to come back again for a final determination and sentencing for my mother. That would be a trial for my uncle also. After the proceedings was over, we all left and went to the Golden Corral to eat dinner. We had a lot of catching up to do. I hadn't seen these people in 6 years. We began to talk about what went on and how it was affecting me and why I hadn't told anyone. I explained to Big Mama that I was in fear of my life and that I didn't think anyone cared because nobody had ever come to my rescue. How somebody gonna come to your rescue if you ain't saying shit to nobody? Now this is shit. Now I'm trying to give you a chance, but god damn. It's almost like Big Mama was in shock. I went into full detail on what was going on, and all she could do was cry and shake her head. My auntie was loud. This is the sister that my mother hated. They always were at each other's neck because my mother always thought she was better than my aunt. She always was going after and sleeping with my aunt's men. This is what I was told. My aunt was disgusted by what she was hearing and shouted out loud, "I wish I would have known, nephew. If I had known your mama wouldn't be here right now, she'd be 12 feet under." Michael apologized to my family for not reaching out to them earlier, but he explained that he was doing research at home and trying to hold back his emotions at work dealing with me. It was hard, and he reached out as soon as he decided he wanted to help me in a better way. There's always someone who has an issue with what's going on, and that was my uncle Leroy. He was very arrogant. He had money, owned 3 businesses, and had a huge house. He had put his two who he had to put his 2 cents in. You know, if Beth wasn't running these streets and being a whore, none of this would have happened. I told her let me raise him. What he said was the truth, but it was the wrong time for him to voice his opinion. After Golden Corral, Michael and I went back to the house. We sat down and talked about the day and how I was feeling. I was still in shock because I never knew I had family who cared about me. I was nervous because I didn't know what my family was going to do about me living with Michael. I was happy because I finally was able to express myself and not fear of the consequences from my uncle and mother. I was excited because I was going to be able to sleep in my own bed with my Spider-Man sheets. Michael took me out of school for a couple of days because he said with everything going on, he didn't want me to possibly have a relapse and start in a fight. Even though I said I was fine, something was still eating in my heart. Was my mother going to be okay in jail? I asked myself often when I cared, why I even cared how she was going to be. But something wouldn't let me shake the thought of that. How often does this happen? That people who hurts us, abuse us, use us, and humiliate us are the people we still care about and think about often. I believe it was the word forgiveness knocking at the door of our hearts. Sometimes we ignore the knock because it causes us to go to an unfamiliar place. And since we are creatures of habit, we are naturally afraid of that unknown place. We are we where we lose control of our surroundings, and we have to totally depend on higher power or something else. A lot of us who have suffered abuse cannot and will not easily trust anyone. Our comfort zone is to hurt others before they get close to our hearts. So we don't have a lot of friends, or we have no friends at all. That way, we can't put ourselves in vulnerable positions. And this is what I found. What? Okay, so yeah, we got a small. Okay. And this is what I found myself doing for the first time in my life, trusting and putting myself in a vulnerable position with Michael. Self sabotage is not an act, it's a process, a complex, tragic process that puts people against their own puts people against their own thoughts and impulses. Though we all make mistakes, a true self-sabotager continues to try to fix those mistakes by top loading them with increasingly bad decisions. And these thoughts of self-sabotage have come so many times because this feels too good to be true. And I had in the back of my mind that there was another motive behind Michael doing what he was doing for me. Why does a man quit his good paying job, research my family, and set up meetings for a kid he really only knows by what he was read off a file produced by the state? This man didn't touch me. He hadn't yelled at me, even though there were times I should have been yelled at. He even took all of his keys off his key ring so the jingling wouldn't bother me. Was there something wrong with this man? Or had this man been sent by God to rescue his son from the torture and hell he was going in? And what was going on? Was he the undercover pervert who was just waiting for the right time to catch me in a vulnerable position to do something to me? Or was he just sincere? On Monday, it was time to go back to school. I had been out a week and it felt weird to go back. Michael had met with the principal and do some had to meet with the principal and do some paperwork and turned in a temporary court order stating that he had legal custody of me until my birthday. When we did that, I returned to class. The day went by great. There were no problems at all until I got ready for dismissal. A boy spit on me and ran off. Now, what a damn coincidence, huh? A boy spit on me and ran off. I later found out that the boy I had beaten with the chair before I went to juvie with was his brother, and he decided that him and his friends were going to jump me. All I saw was black. I chased him until I caught him, and I beat every inch out of him, inch of life out of him, and these little three friends until I got tired. The principal and about four other grown men came running down to get me off of them. And when they did, my hands were so bloody that I had broken my right finger. A tooth from one of the boys was stuck in my middle knuckle. I I still have a scar to this day. They brought me to the office and called the police. Michael and the DSS worker and I had to sit there until they all arrived. This time I wouldn't get a slap on the wrist. They expelled me from school and I couldn't get back into come back on the school property. I went back to juvenile detention for 6 more months. This 6 months went past my birthday, and I wonder how this would affect the outcome of Michael being able to have full custody of me. Child, would the judge throw out everything that was said on my behalf? I had really messed up at everything that Michael had worked hard for. He came to see me every chance he could, but I knew he was mad at me. I knew he wasn't going to give up on me just like everyone else did. My thoughts were completely wrong. He told me, "We're going to get through this together. I got your back." I never understood why he loved and cared for me so much. And I really didn't think that his love was real until this moment in my life, the moment where I was struggling to find me. And that's chapter 7. Now, at this point, that motherfucker bad. You just won't listen. Now, you could have whooped ass after school. You got to stop and think. It ain't say what grade this was. Which that big mama ain't know she raised degenerates, honey. Mm. I'm gonna have to sit and meditate on it, y'all. But that was the end of chapter 6, honey. We ain't got but 3 more to go in part 1. Honey, honey. The first day he went back to school, honey, he said the day went by good until the end of the day. Child. All right, y'all. I'm going to holler at you guys later. Y'all already know tonight kicks off my weekend. Okay, just saying. So see y'all asses later. Y'all have a good night. We're gonna finish this off next, not finish it off, but chapter 7 gonna be next Thursday. Don't y'all forget about the raffle and tuber tomorrow, child. It's been a lot of shit going on this week too. I got questions for him, mama, and the elders, child. Tam. Everybody. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good night. Talk to y'all later.